On the 18th of December 1916, the Battle of Verdun ends. Now, the Battle of Verdun, the longest engagement of World War I, ends on this day after 10 months of close to a million total casualties suffered by the German and French troops. The battle had begun on the 21st of February 1916, after the Germans, led by Chief of Staff Erich von Falkenhayn, developed a plan to attack the fortress city of Verdun on the Meuse River in France. Falkenhayn believed that the French army would be more vulnerable than the British, and that a major defeat on the Western Front would push the Allies to open peace negotiations with the Germans. Also, they saw Verdun as a mythical town, kind of like Sedan during the Franco-Prussian War, that they would defend to the end, right? So from the beginning, casualties mounted quickly on both sides of the conflict, and after some early gains of territory by the Germans, the battle settled into a bloody stalemate like that on the Western Front, like every battle on the Western Front. Among the weapons of the German arsenal were the newly invented Flammenwerfer or the flamethrower, and that year also saw the first use by the Germans of phosgene gas, 10 times more lethal than chlorine gas they previously used in 1915, and actually the French would use tear gas in 1914, but as the fighting at Verdun stretched on, and German resources were stretched thinner and thinner, by having to confront both a British-led offensive on the Somme River and a Russian Brusilov offensive on the Eastern Front. In July, the Kaiser, frustrated by the state of things at Verdun, removed Falkenhayn and sent him to command the 9th Army in Transylvania in Romania, which would actually do a pretty good job of. And Paul von Hindenburg took his place as commander of the Western Front. By early December, under Robert Nivelle, who had been appointed to replace Philippe Pétain, in April, the French had managed to recapture much of their lost territory, and in the last 3 days of the battle took 11,000 German prisoners before Hindenburg finally called off the Verdun offensive and called off a stop to the German attacks. The massive loss of life at Verdun, 143,000 Germans dead and over 337,000 wounded, and casualties, to France's 162,444 out of 377,231, will come to symbolize, more than any other battle, the bloody nature of trench warfare on the Western Front, and it would be for a time, well, it still is known as the Stalingrad of World War I, but Stalingrad was the Verdun of World War II. And the meat grinder of the Western Front, though they had a Christmas truce in 1914, will lead to millions of more people dying on the East, the West, in the Middle East, and Africa was about 100,000, not too much, but and Asia Pacific, Asia Minor was like a couple hundred, but anyway. The Battle of Verdun has raged for months by this point. I fear that during this Christmas it won't be the last, but we have gotten a Christmas gift as the Germans have finally retreated back to the so-called, what I'm hearing, the Hindenburg line. So we could only rejoice and say Fox de la Fleur, or whatever you say in French for Merry Christmas. I will look it up later, but for right now, we got a Christmas miracle. Like that of 1914, I was there. I saw the Christmas truce. And I thought to myself, wow, he really did the greedy on Paul de Jacques, but it is what it is. But I don't know, Renault, but I know that on the 18th of December 1916, the bloody stalemate at Verdun would come to an end. And even though Robert Nivelle wasn't that good, he kind of did his job there.